One of the most influential cities in the world, New York City is far more than just a geographic location. It is a living, evolving symbol of ambition, resilience, diversity, and transformation. Over the past 2 centuries, this city has grown from a regional trading hub into a global powerhouse that shapes finance, culture, politics, and innovation. Its story is not only the story of a city, but also the story of millions of people who arrived with dreams and helped build one of the most dynamic urban centers in human history. Around 200 years ago, in 1825, a single engineering project dramatically altered the course of New York's future: the opening of the Erie Canal. This canal connected the Hudson River to the Great Lakes, effectively linking the Atlantic Ocean to the vast interior of North America. Before its construction, transporting goods across land was slow, expensive, and inefficient. The canal changed everything. It reduced transportation costs, increased speed, and opened up trade routes that had never been accessible before. As a result, New York quickly became the gateway for goods flowing between Europe and the American interior. Agricultural products, raw materials, and manufactured goods all passed through the city's ports. This surge in commerce transformed New York into the leading economic center of the United States. Merchants, investors, and entrepreneurs flocked to the city, creating a thriving environment of business and opportunity. By the late 19th century, New York had already begun to symbolize hope and freedom for people around the world. In 1886, the iconic Statue of Liberty was unveiled. A gift from France, this towering monument stood at the entrance to the harbor, greeting ships arriving from distant lands. For millions of immigrants, it was the first sight of America, a powerful symbol that represented new beginnings, freedom, and the promise of a better life. Just a few years later, in 1892, Ellis Island opened as the nation's primary immigration station. Over the next several decades, approximately 12 million immigrants passed through its halls. They came from Europe, Asia, and beyond. Italians, Irish, Jews, Germans, Poles, and many others. Each brought their own languages, traditions, and cultures, turning New York into one of the most diverse cities in the world. These immigrants faced many challenges: poverty, discrimination, and difficult working conditions, but their determination shaped the city's identity. Neighborhoods like Little Italy, Chinatown, and Harlem became cultural centers, each contributing to the rich mosaic of New York life. Their labor built the city's infrastructure, powered its industries, and fueled its growth. As the 20th century began, New York entered a new era, defined by ambition and architectural innovation. The skyline began to rise as engineers and architects competed to build taller and more impressive structures. This was the birth of the skyscraper age. Among the most famous of these was the Empire State Building, completed in 1931. Standing at 102 stories, it was the tallest building in the world at the time, and remained so for decades. It became a symbol of human ingenuity and the city's relentless drive to reach new heights. However, this period of growth was not without hardship. In 1929, the United States was plunged into the Great Depression, one of the most severe economic downturns in history. New York, as the financial center of the nation, was deeply affected. Banks collapsed, businesses shut down, and unemployment soared. Thousands of people lost their jobs and struggled to survive. The contrast between the city's towering skyscrapers and the suffering of its people revealed the harsh realities behind its success. Despite these challenges, New York endured and gradually recovered. After the end of World War II, the city entered a new phase of global importance. In 1945, the United Nations established its headquarters in New York. This decision elevated the city's status as a center for international diplomacy and cooperation. Leaders from around the world began to gather in New York to discuss global issues, resolve conflicts, and shape the future of humanity. From the 1950s through the 1980s, New York experienced a cultural explosion that would influence the entire world. The city became a hub for creativity, innovation, and artistic expression. Broadway emerged as the global center of theater, producing world-class performances that attracted audiences from every corner of the globe. Musicians, artists, writers, and filmmakers found inspiration in the city's energy and diversity. During this time, new cultural movements were born. Jazz, hip-hop, and punk music all found their roots in New York. Neighborhoods like Greenwich Village became centers of intellectual and artistic activity. The city's influence on global culture became undeniable. However,